If you clicked on this, then you know we're going to be talking about 2008 Bionicle already, because LEGO took something from us. Kind of. You see, I'm planning on using this image as the thumbnail for this video. Now, Pohatu is a bit special for me for a handful of reasons, notably because my Pohatu Mystica build, this one right here, is kind of what launched this channel. It is why it is where it is today. And when I say LEGO took this from us, I don't mean this build. This is my build, not theirs. But what I mean is this idea. This was never going to come out from LEGO, at least not like this, not at the price point back in 2008, because there are a lot of pieces involved with this build, well over 100, but there doesn't have to be. You see, the funny thing about being a LEGO designer is that you get to come up with the new pieces involved too, and this design right here is entirely buildable in real life in some way or another. Yeah, not all the pieces exist in these colors, clearly, and the mask is a custom mask designed by Rothenac, by the way, shout out to them here. But why I wanted to bring this one up is because the concept of this set is actually very simple. And it could have been made. Now, I wanted to do a bit of an experiment. 2008 Bionicle actually introduces a lot of new parts, but a decent chunk of the new molds that were introduced for 2008 Bionicle are devoted to masks specifically. I believe there's somewhere around the era of 25, 6, 7 masks. I'd like to think. I'm just spitballing here. But it's crazy to think about. And that's not even including the vehicle masks. Good Lord, there's so many of them. There's so many masks, right? Well, anyway. I decided to count up all of the pieces that Bionicle 2008 used versus what my ideal Bionicle 2008 would have used. And it's strikingly close. Here's the thing. I didn't count the Avmatoran pieces because my 2008 would still have Avmatoran. They'd probably be basically the same, although of course I'd get rid of those fragile sockets, but that just means that the pieces would cancel out, right? So no counting those. Not worried about that here. I also didn't worry about counting the Titan or box sets or vehicles for that matter, because I think they're all fine for the most part. I'd improve them, but that comes later. No, I counted just the canister sets, and I counted all of the new molds that were introduced for those sets specifically, because canister sets are typically where new molds are devoted. And here's the thing. I counted 36 new molds. Now, I probably am off by 1 or 2. I'm very sleep deprived. But what I did find interesting was that when I counted it against the new molds that would be required not only for this set that you see right here in front of you, but all of these, I came up to about 38. That's not a big difference. I do drop a couple of things from this. Notably, you will see 2 Mid-Axe Sky Blasters here, or no, rather, 2 Nanra Ghost Blasters here. I dropped the Sky Blaster completely, not because I don't like it. I do like it, and it's one mold, so I'd absolutely include it anyway, but I just dropped it for consistency's sake here. However, 2008 Bionicle also has a ton of launchers in it, and each of these launchers are fairly complicated in terms of their parts, so there are a lot of parts that get eaten up in making them. Not just parts, but new parts. Specifically, that Nanra Blaster is at least 2 new parts, not including the projectile. The Midak Blaster is made of several internal parts. I think it's nowhere near as simple as something like the Zammer launcher, which is just 1 new mold at the time, and of course, its projectile as well. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. The point, though, is that these builds here don't require a lot. A torso in these builds is a custom torso, for what it's worth. But the reason that I'm not worried about that is because, again, since LEGO can design their own pieces, they don't need to make them out of multiple parts. They can make them out of just one part, a brand new torso mold with ball joints built in so that the waist can be built up from there. And if they wanted to, be, I was going to say stingy, but I don't even think it'd be that, because it would cost them more money. They could even include a separate singular piece as the waist that has double sockets right on it, or a single socket if they wanted to use a B-type. Anyway, I could definitely continue brainstorming. The point is that although my builds may require a decent amount of parts going into them, it doesn't for LEGO, and you could still get something that looks just like these sets that you see on screen. 38 pieces, 2 new molds, and these could have been possible. That's the crazy thing. Recolors? Yeah, there absolutely would be some. Notably, the limbs on a lot of these characters are brand new recolors. tan for these Paraka limbs would have been fantastic. Although I imagine if LEGO would have used them in tan here, Vorox probably would not have gotten the Metru limb because he probably would have reused these. And that's fine. That's an easy way for LEGO to have saved money, obviously. It would also take some speciality away from Vorox since we would see tan make a return here. Glorious return. I think that if Pohatu looked like this, man, would he sell? I feel like he would. I don't know. I can't know that. But hot damn, this does it looks so good. So I bring all this up because I look at these builds and I look at what 2008 was, and I'm just so disappointed in it because it had so much potential, so much promise. There's so much that it should have been. This was a return of the Toa Nuva for us. And instead, what it was fragile sockets and Toa that in a lot of cases didn't look like their former selves. Pohatu using orange. And generally, the first wave at the very least had some similarities, but by the second wave, they were near unrecognizable. And it's unfortunate, because I thought they deserved better. Now, is 2008 a bad year? No. I think it's mostly just a letdown. And that's its biggest fault. Outside of those fragile joints, of course. A letdown. The vehicles are so cool, and they deserved better than what I think we got. And we were so close. 2 molds. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. Helps the channel get closer to 4,000, and it's free. So you're just doing me a favor out of the kindness of your heart. With all that being said, you can also check out links for Discord, Instagram, and Patreon. And of course, if you want to see that image, it will be uploaded. In fact, it should be uploaded already to Discord for you to check out as well. So that's free to join. And if you want to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, I appreciate the engagement. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on 2008. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Would you think this would have been better? And stay tuned because Mystica Makuta and Fantoka Makuta revamps are coming soon. Take care.